Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farras Haidar Raihantsa, where I sit here to present my presentation on transportation. Transportation is a vehicle or transportation or vehicle is a means of transportation both driven by machinery and by living things. These vehicles are usually man-made cars, motorcycles, trains, boats, and planes. But some are not man-made and can still be called vehicles such as iceberg and floating tree trunks. Non-motorized vehicle can also be driven by human or pulled by animals, such as cars, so as not to waste too much time. We just start the presentation. Number one is car. A car or automobile is a wheeled motor vehicle used for transportation. The most definition of car I run mainly on roads, seat 1 to 8 people, have 4 tires, and mainly transport people rather than goods. Cars came into global use during the 20th century and developed economies depend on them. The year 1000, 1886 was regarded as the birth of the modern car when German inventor Karl Benz patent his patent motor wagon. Cars are widely available in the early 20th century. One of the first cars that were accessible to the masses was the 1908 Model T, an American car manufactured by the Ford Motor Company. Cars were rapidly adopted in the U.S., where they replaced animal-drawn carriages and cars, but it took a lot longer to be accepted in Western Europe and other parts in the world. Next, number two is train. A train is a form of transport consisting of a series of connected vehicles that generally track to transport cargo or passenger. The word train comes from the Old French trainer, derived from the Latin traher, meaning to pull or to draw. Motive power for a train is provided by separate locomotive or individual motors in a self-propelled multiple unit, although this historically dominates steam propulsion. The most common types of locomotive are diesel and electric. The latter are supplied by overhead wires or additional rails. Trains can also be hauled by horse, pulled by engine or water-driven cable or wire winch, run downhill using gravity, or powered by pneumatics, gas turbines, or battery. There are two types of rail and rack rail. Monorail and magnetic guidance are also used occasionally. Next, cruise ship. A cruise ship is a passenger amenity and different destination along the way form part of the passenger experience. Transportation is not only purpose of cruising, particularly and cruise that return passengers to their originating ports, known as closed-loop cruise on cruise to nowhere or nowhere voyage. Cruise ships make 2 until 3 night runs without any ports of call trips. Next, airplane. An airplane informally plane is a powered fixed-wing aircraft that is propelled forward by thrust from a jet engine, propeller, or rocket engine. Airplane come in variety of size, shapes, and wing configuration. The broad spectrum of use for airplanes includes recreation, transportation of goods and people, military and research, worldwide commercial aviation transport are more than 4 billion passengers annually on airlines and transport more than 200 billion tons of cargo annually, which is less than 1% of the world's cargo movement. Most airplanes are flown by a pilot on board the aircraft, but some are designed to be remote or computer controlled. Next. Number 5 is motorcycle. Motorcycle, often called a bike, motorbike, or cycle, is a 2 or 3-wheeled motor vehicle. Motorcycle design range from different purposes: long distance travel, commuting, cruising, sport including racing and off-road riding. Motorcycling is a motorcycle and related social activities such as joining a motorcycle club and attending motorcycle rallies. In in 1080 and 1994, Hildebrand and Wolfmuller became the first series production motorcycle and the first to be called a motorcycle in 2014. The three top motorcycle producers global by volume were Honda, Yamaha, both from Japan, and Hero Motocorp, India. In developing countries, motorcycles are considered utilitarian due to lower price and greater fuel economy of all the motorcycles in the world. 58% are in the Asia Pacific and Southern and Eastern Asia regions, excluding car-centric Japan. The vehicle mile was traveled according to the U.S. Department of Transportation 37 times higher for motorcycle than for cars. Next, number 6 is bus. A bus, archaically also omnibus, multibus, motorbus, autobus, is a road vehicle designed to carry many passengers. Bus can have a capacity as high as 300 passengers. The most common type of bus is the single-deck rigid bus with larger loads carried by double-decker and articulate bus, and small loads carried by midibus and minibus. Coaches are used for longer distance service. Many types of bus, such as city transit bus and intercity coach, charge a fare. Other types, such as bus or shuttle bus within a campus post-secondary education, do not charge a fare. In many jurisdictions, bus driver require special license above and beyond a regular driver license. Number 7 is bicycle. A bicycle, also called a cycle or bike, is a human-powered or motor-powered pedal-driven single-track vehicle having two wheels attached to a frame on behind the other. A bicycle rider is called a cyclist or bicyclist. Bicycles were introduced in late 9th century in Europe, and by the early 21st century, more than 1 billion were in existence at a given time. This number far exceeds the number of cars bought in total and ranked by the number of individual models produced. They are the principal means of transportation in many regions. They also provide a popular form of recreation and have been adapted for use as children's toys, generally fitness, military, and police application, courier service, bicycle racing, and bicycle stunt. Next, number 8, taxi. Well, express taxi in Jakarta, taxi are non-personal transportation, which are generally sedans and can refer to other public transportation besides cars that carry passengers in small capacity. For example, water taxi, which may actually only be canoe. Water taxi can be in the form of robots or equipped with engines outboards that can be rented for a particular trip or time. Water taxi are found in cities that are crossed by large rivers such as in Palembang, Banjarmasin, Samarinda, or on the banks of lakes such as Parapatarutung. Next, number 9 is truck. A truck is a motorized vehicle to transport goods, also called a freight car. In the small form, the goods car is referred to as pickup, while the shape is larger with one in front, and the tandem at the back is called the tronton truck, while the one used for container transportation is a trailer truck. There are also types of tank trucks that are useful for transporting liquids such as fuel and other. Number 10 is tank. United States M1A1 Abrams tanks are armored fighting vehicles that move using chain-shaped wheels. The main feature of the tank is its protector, which is usually a heavy layer of steel. Its weapon while are large cannon and high mobility to move smoothly in all fields. Although tanks are expensive vehicles and require a lot of logistical supply. Tanks are the most powerful and versatile land weapons on the modern battlefield due to their ability to destroy and land targets and their mental effect on infantry. Next, number 11 is ship tanker. A tanker is a ship designed to transport oil or its derivative product. The main types of tanker include oil tankers, chemical tankers, and LNG carriers. Among various types of tanker, supertanker are designed to transport oil around the Horn of Africa and the Middle East. Supertanker Knock Navies is the largest carriers in the world. In addition to transporting pipelines, tankers, as well as vehicles to transport crude oil, which can sometimes cause environmental disaster due to oil spills to the sea. For the famous catastrophe caused by tankers, see Torrey Canyon, Exxon Valdez, Amoco Cadiz, Erika Prestige. The next is submarine. A submarine is a ship that moves below the surface of the water, generally used for military purposes and interests. Most navies own and operate submarines. Even though the number and population of each country are different, apart from being used for military purposes, submarines are also used for marine and freshwater science and for duty at depths that are not suitable for human divers. Germany has a submarine popularly known as the U-boat, which is a submarine for the Unterboot began to be seen in the World War I as a deadly weapon system for the enemy navy, especially during World War II. So it is famous as U-class. Apart from Germany, the country that was popular with submarines as the main force of the navy was the Soviet Union or Russia. One of one of the other diving plants is diving bells. The next is fire engine. A fire engine, also known in some territories as a fire truck or fire appliance, is a vehicle designed primarily for firefighting operation. The term fire engine and fire truck are often used interchangeably. However, in some fire department fire service, they refer to separate and specific types of vehicle. The primary purpose of a fire engine include transporting firefighter to an incident scene, providing water with which to fight a fire, and carrying other equipment needed by firefighter. They may also be used for various other uses, such as emergency medical service and rescue from situations other than fires. A typical modern vehicle will carry tools for a wide range of firefighting and rescue tanks with common equipment including ladders, hose, self-contained breathing apparatus, ventilating equipment, first aid kit, and hydraulic rescue tool. Many fire vehicles are based on parts may be upgraded to cope with the demands of the vehicle usage. They are normally fitted with audible and visual warning, as well as communication equipment such as two-way radios and mobile computer technology. The next is bulldozer. Bulldozer is a type of construction equipment, commonly called a heavy equipment or construction equipment type tractor using a track chain and is equipped with a knife known as a blade located in front. Bulldozers are applied to the work of digging, pushing, and pulling material, soil, sand. The term bulldozer is often used to describe all types of heavy equipment, excavator, loaders, even though this term precisely refers only to a chain tractor equipped with a blade. In addition to the blade as a standard bulldozer equipment, additional equipment can be installed on the back of the bulldozer, referred to disassemble material that cannot be extracted using a blade, usually for road or mining work. Winch for, attracting material, often used in wood dispensing work in the forest. Generally, bulldozers are widely used in mining jobs, especially for coal mining. This bulldozer is used to flatten land, dig and suffer trees during the land clearing process. The unit that is widely used in the mining world is a unit produced by Japanese manufacturer named Komatsu, many of which are spread in almost all coal mines in Indonesia. The next is snowplow. A snowplow, also snowplow, is a device intended for mounting on a vehicle used for removing snow and ice from outdoor surface. Typically thus serving transportation purpose even though they are often used for mounting such device. They are more accurate in specific environments such as airfields. In other cases, pickup trucks and front-end loaders are outfitted with attachment to fulfill this purpose. Some things don't often see so snow may use graders to compact snow and ice off the streets. Snowplows can also be mounted on the railroad tracks or locomotives to clear railway track. The next is seaplane. A seaplane is a powered fixed-wing aircraft capable of taking off and landing, alighting on water. Seaplanes that can also take off and land on airfields are in a subclass called amphibious aircraft. Seaplanes and amphibians are usually divided into two categories based on their technological characteristics. Floatplanes and flying boats, the latter are generally far larger and can carry far more. These aircraft were sometimes called hydroplanes, but currently this term applies instead to motor-powered watercraft that use the technique of hydrodynamic lift to skim the surface of water when running at speed. Next is ambulance. Ambulances are vehicles equipped with medical equipment to transport sick people or accident victims. The term ambulance is used to describe a vehicle used to carry medical equipment to patients outside the hospital or move the patient to another hospital for further treatment. Exterior, this vessel is equipped with an emergency siren and tractor lamp, usually red or red blue, so that it can penetrate traffic jams. This vehicle is one of the priorities in traffic other than the fire department, which has the right to violate traffic regulations such as breaking red lights, resisting direction, and road shoulder lanes, and has been explained in the law of traffic that vehicles such as ambulance and emergency vehicle other must be given comfort and given rails to be on the highway to save life. In Indonesia, ambulance usually come from various agencies such as ambulance for government or private hospital, paramedic, ambulance, PMI, ambulance, puskesmas ambulance, ambulance prefecture, clinical ambulance, and SAR or Basarnas ambulance. In developed countries, there are even ambulance for aircraft, helicopters, and ambulance for the public. The article ambulance is refers in front of the vehicle so that the driver of the vehicle in front of the ambulance can read the words ambulance from the rear view mirror to be able to give a pass on the road. Next, the next is helicopter. Helicopters are airplanes heavier than air, with swivel wings whose rotors are driven by engines. The helicopter is an aircraft that lives and is pushed by one or more large horizontal propellers. Helicopters are classified as rotary wing aircraft to distinguish them from other ordinary fixed wing aircraft. The word helicopter comes from the Greek helix, spiral, and pteron wing. Engine-operated helicopters were created by Slovak inventor Jan Behil. Compared to fixed-wing aircraft, helicopters are more complex and more expensive to buy and operate quite slowly, have close roaming distance, and limited payloads. While the advantage is the movement, helicopters are able to fly in place, retreat and take off and land vertically, limited in fuel and load. High addition facilities. Helicopters can fly to any location and land anywhere with a field of rotors and half diameters. The base of the helicopter is called a helipad. Next, the next is tractor. A tractor is a vehicle specifically designed for the purpose of high traction at low speed or for pulling trailers or implement used in agriculture or construction. This term is commonly used to define a type of vehicle for agriculture. Agricultural instruments are generally driven by this vehicle, drawn or encouraged, and become the main source of agricultural cultural mechanization. Another general term, tractor unit, which defines a semi-trailer truck vehicle. The word tractor is taken from Latin "ter", which means interesting. There is also a saying that the tractor is a combination of the word traction motor, which is an attractive motorbike initially used to shorten the explanation, a machine or vehicle that pulls, carries, or plows to replace the term traction engine. In Britain, Ireland, Australia, India, Spain, Argentina, and Germany, the word tractor generally means farm tractor, and the use of the word tractor that refers to other types of vehicle is very rare. In Canada and the United States, the word tractor also means semi-trailer truck. The first agricultural instrument was a portable machine in the 1080 80 uh, 1800. A steam engine that could be used to control agricultural mechanical instruments around 180 and 50 1850. Pulling machines were developed from these engines and were widely used in agriculture. The first tractor was a steam engine plow engine. So this is my last presentation about transportation. So I will continue my second presentation about the profession. Profession. Profession is an absorption word from an English word profess, which means promise to fulfill to the obligation to perform a special task permanently or permanently. The profession is also a job that requires training and mastery of a particular knowledge. A profession usually has professional association, codes of ethics, and certification and licensing processes. process that are specific to the profession. Examples of profession are in the fields of law, health, finance, military, engineering, designer, educator. A person who is competent is in a particular profession is called a professional. However, professional terms are also used for an activity that receives payments as a opposite to works from amateur. And example is that professional boxer receive payment for boxing matches, while boxing itself is generally not considered a profession. Okay, number one is administrator. Administrators are people who are in charge of taking care of administrative matters in the world of the internet. An administrator is in charge of managing the things related to computer. And next, animator. An animator is an artist who creates a variety of images that will form an illusion as if moving at a fast broadcast called a frame. Animators can work in various fields such as film, television, video games, and the internet. Usually, an animated work requires several animators. The way it works in creating the image depends on their style and expertise. Next, archaeology. Archaeology comes from Greek archeo, which means ancient, and logos, science, alternative names of archaeology. Are material cultural history. Archaeology is the science that studies the culture of human past. Systematic study of left-handed material data. Systematic studies include the discovery, documentation, analysis, and interpretation of data in the form of artifacts. Material culture such as stone, and temple buildings, and ecofag environmental objects such as rocks, earth, and fossils, and features are artifactual that cannot be spread from its place. Archaeological site. The typical research technique is archaeological excavation, although the survey also receives a large portion. Next, astronomer. Astronomy is a branch of science that examines celestial objects such as stars, planets, comets, and natural phenomena that occur outside the Earth's atmosphere, such as cosmic background radiation. This science basically study various sets of celestial bodies, such as origin, physical or chemical properties, meteorology, and motion, and how the knowledge of these objects explain the formation and development of the universe. Next, author. An author is the creator or originator of any written work such as book or play, and is thus also a writer. More broadly defined, an author is the person who originates or gave existence to anything and whose authorship determines responsibility for what was created. Next, car mechanic. An auto mechanic, automotive technician in most of North America. Car mechanic in British English and more mechanic in Australian English is a mechanic with a variety of automobile makes, or either in a specific area or in a specific make of automobile. In repairing cars, their main role is to diagnose the problem accurately and quickly. They often have to quote price for their customers before commencing work or after partial assembly for inspection. Their job may involve the repair of a specific part of the replacement of one or more parts as assembly. Next, architect. An architect is a person who plans, designs, and reviews the construction of buildings. To practice architecture means to provide service in connection with the design of building and the space within the street surrounding the buildings that have as their principal purpose human occupancy or use etymo- etymological architect device from the Latin architectus, which derives from the Greek archi, chef, tecton, builder, chef builder. Next, coach. The coach is the trainer is someone who is charged of preparing the physical and mental sportsmen and sports group. Most trainers are former athletes. The coach manages tactics, strategy, physical training, and provides moral support to athletes. The head coach is a professional who trains and develops male and female sports. He is usually paid more than an ordinary coach. Trainers are often helped by other people such as assistant coach staff. Often in large sports teams, head coaches don't do much work on developing details such as playing technique or placing player or on the field and assigning this to his assistants while he, he concentrates on bigger problems. Next, doctor is someone who, because of his science, tries to heal people who are sick. Not all people who cure disease, disease can be called doctor. To become a doctor usually requires special education and training and has a degree in medicine. Next, farmer. Farmers at harvest time. A farmer is someone who is engaged in agriculture mainly by conducting land management with the aim of growing and maintaining plants such as rice, flower, fruit, in the hope of obtaining yields from these plants for their own use or selling them to others. They can also provide raw material for industry such as cereals for alcoholic beverage fruit for juice and wool or cotton for wearing and making clothes. Everyone can become a farmer, provided he has a piece of land or more. Even though he already has a job not as a farmer, the purpose of the sentence does not mean that the landowner has to hoe or cultivate his own land, but can work with real farmer to grow crops on his farm. If this is applied, it means that the landowner has given work to other people even though the results are not much. If you intend to process it yourself, of course, you have to really be able to divide your time. But it is likely that it will be difficult if the land is more than one plot. Next, firefighter. Firefighters who are carrying out the task of putting out fires or fires. Fire truck. Telephone numbers or DKI Jakarta Fire Department firefighter abbreviate Damkar. Brandweer from Dutch brandweer or PMK are people or troops who are in charge of putting out fires, doing rescue and overcoming disaster or other event. Besides being trained to save victims from fire or blackouts, firefighters are also trained to save victims of disasters such as traffic accident, collapse building, floods, earthquake. On the other hand, they are also tasked with carrying out rescue tasks that do not involve fire, such as evacuation, wasp nest, saving switched victims, saving trapped people or animals, overcoming voluntary. Firefighters are also sometimes assigned to provide information and education to civilians about fire and how to respond. Next, Judge is the official who leads the trial. The term judge comes from the Arabic word hakima, which means rules out authority, government. He decides the sentence for the party charged. Judge must be respected in the courtroom, and violation of this can lead to punishment. Judge usually wear black clothes. His power varies in various countries. Next, teacher. The teacher is a teacher of science in Indonesian. Teacher generally refer to professional educator with the main task of education, teaching, guiding, directing, training, evaluating students. Next, painter. Painters are people who create two-dimensional works of art in the form of paintings. In addition to painter, the term that was once popular as the equivalent of this word is an image expert. This was evidenced by the establishment of a community of Indonesian painters with the name of the Indonesian Drawing Expert Association Persagi in 1000 1938. This community was intended as a venue for learning and sharing among Indonesian painters at that time. Next, pilots, airplane drivers. Pilots or airmen are the names for people who drive or maneuver airplanes. As a profession that requires expertise in driving an airplane, a pilot must take the official exam held by the flight school and flight authority. If it states that it passed the test, a pilot will get a flight certification or pilot diploma, which is a letter acknowledging the pilot's ability competence to fly a plane with a certain type size. Next, photographer are people who make pictures by capturing a light from the subject of the picture with cameras and other photographic equipment, and generally think of art the technique to produce better photo and try to develop their knowledge. Many photographers use their camera and tools as income generating jobs, and the picture will be sold for magazine covers, calendar covers, article. Next, policeman. The police is public civil institution that maintains order, security, and law and enforcement throughout the country. The police are one of the important institutions that play the main task as guardians of security, order, and law enforcement, so that the police institution must exist in all sovereign country. Sometimes these institutions are militaristic, like in Indonesia before the Indonesian National Police Polri were released from ABRI. The police in the courtroom served as investigator. In his assignment, he sought evidence, statement from various sources, but testimony of witnesses, and statement of expert witnesses. Next, sailor. Seafarers are someone whose work sails on the sea, or it can also mean someone who steers a boat or helps in the operation, maintenance, or service of a ship. This includes people working on the boat. In addition, it is also often referred to as the ship's crew or crew. Next. The next is writer. The author is a term for people who do the work of writing on or create a paper. Writing is the activity of making letters, numbers, using stationery in a medium on writing media, expressing ideas through feeling, through writing, activates or creating an essay in written form. Writing can be in the form of scientific papers, research papers, journalistic writing, articles, opinions, feature, literature, or fiction, including prose novels, short stories, poetry. The the format of the publisher writing is print media, books, magazines, tabloids, newspaper, online media, internet websites, blogs, social networking media, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, and so on, and so on. Equivalent terms of the elder are other composer, process, writer. Words also include note takers, Japanese, Dabir, archaic, clerks, katib Arabic, clerks, clerics, archaic, clerks, secretaries, loyal businessman, painter, and drawer are sometimes also included as the word of the other. Next. Soldier. The military is the armed force of a country and everything related to the armed force. The equivalent of the other word is the army or armed force. The military usually consists of soldiers or soldiers. Another very close word with the military is militarism, which means more or less decisive, rigid, aggressive, and authoritarian behavior. Like the military, even though the culprit could be a civil leader. Because the environment of his duties is mainly on the battlefield, the military is indeed trained and is required to be firm and disciplined. In military life, there is a demand for a clear hierarchy, and superior must be able to act decisively and bravely because the armed forces are led. And the next is waiter. Waiters are people who work in restaurants, bars, and cafes to serve visitors. This work is included in the service sector. The waiter records the visitor's order and then brings the food or drink to the ordering table. A good waiter can help visitors by recommending the best menu. Many servants asked by their employer wear uniform. Tips for servants are recommended by Western and Middle Eastern countries, while servants in Asia Pacific don't receive tips. And the next, detective. Detective is someone who investigates a crime, both as a police detective and as a private detective. Private detectives usually work commercially and require a license. Informal, especially in fictional stories. Detectives are often portrayed as someone without a license who investigates a crime. Examples of famous fictional detectives include Sherlock Holmes, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and Hercule Poirot by Agatha Christie. Next, bodyguard. A bodyguard or close protection officer is a type of security guard or government law enforcement officer who is a person or group of people, usually high-ranking public official or officer with wealthy people and celebrity from danger. Generally death, assault, kidnapping, assassination, harassment, loss of information, threats, or other criminal offense. The group of who protect of VIP personnel is often referred to as the VIP security detail. Next, barber. A barber is a person whose occupation is mainly to cut, dress, groom, style, and shave men's and boys' hair. A barber's place of work is known as a barber shop or a barber. Barbershops are also places of official interaction and public discourse. In some instances, barbershops are also public forums. They are the location of open debates, voicing public concern, and engaging citizens in discussion about contemporary issues. In previous times, barbers known as barber surgeons also performed surgery and dentistry. dentistry. With the development of safety measures and the decreasing prevalence of births in English-speaking culture, most barbers now specialize in cutting men's scalp hair as opposite to facial hair. Next, businessman. A businessman, also businessman or businessman, is involved in the business sector, particularly someone undertaking active commercial or industrial for the purpose of generating cash flow, sales and revenue utilizing a combination of human, financial, intellectual, and physical capital with a view to fueling economic development and growth. An entrepreneur is an example of a business person. The term business person may refer to the founder, owner, or majority shareholder of a commercial enterprise, or it can characterize a high-level executive who does the running and management of a company. If that executive is not the owner, the term may sometimes refer to someone who is involved in a upper-level management role in a corporation, company, enterprise, firm, organization, or agency. Next, cameraman. A camera operator, sometimes informally called a cameraman, is a professional operator or a film or video camera in filmmaking. The person who designs lighting is the cinematographer or director or photography, who is also called a cameraman. Talk it is a different job. A camera operator in video production is known as a television camera operator, video camera operator, or videographer, depending on the context and technology involved, usually operating a professional video camera. And the next, bricklayer. A bricklayer, which is related to but different from a mason, is a craftsman who lays bricks to construct brickwork. The terms also refer to personal block, used walls, and other forms of masonry. In British and Australian English, a bricklayer is colloquially known as a brickie. A stone mason is one who lays any combination of stones, cinder blocks, and building walls. In other words, the main difference between a bricklayer and a true mason is skill level. Bricklaying is a part of masonry, while stone masonry is a specialist occupation involved in cutting and shaping of stones on and wood. Maybe just that much presentation from me about the profession and also transportation. Sorry if there is a word wrong. I end up here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, the next is designer. A designer is a person who makes design for objects. A fashion designer design clothing, a web designer design for web page, and an automobile designer design automobile. In each case, the designer works with the help of a technician or engineer who understand the deeper levels of manufacturing and engineering, and the designer themselves are largely confined to work at surface level. More formally, a designer is an agent that specifies the structural properties of a design object. In practice, anyone who creates tangible or intangible objects, products, processes, lawn games, graphics, surface, and experience is referred to as designer. The next is electrician. An electrician is a tradesman specializing in electrical wiring of building, transmission lines, stationary machines, and related equipment. Electrician may be employed in the installation of new electrical component or maintenance and repair of existing electrical infrastructure. Electrician may also specialize in ships, airplanes, and other mobile platforms, as well as data and cable lines. The next is film director. A film director is a person who directs the making of a film. A film director controls a film artistic and dramatic aspect and visualizes the screenplay or script while building the technical crew and actor in the fulfillment of that vision. The director has a key role in choosing cast member, production design, and the creative aspect of filmmaking. The European Union law, the director is viewed as the author of the film. Next is fisherman. A fisherman or fisher is someone who captures fish and animals from a body of water or gather shellfish. Worldwide, there are about 38 million commercial and subsistence fishermen and fish farmers. Fishermen may be professional or recreational and may be both men or women. Fishing has become a means of obtaining food since the Mesolithic period. Next, garbage man. A waste collector or sanitation worker is employed by a public or private enterprise to collect and remove waste from residential, commercial, industrial, or other collection sites for further processing and disposal. Specialized waste collection vehicle featuring an array of automated functions are often deployed to assist waste collectors in reducing collection and transport time and for protection from exposure. Waste, waste and recycling pickup works physically demanding and exposes workers to a number of occupational hazards. The next is pharmacist. Pharmacist, also known as chemist, Commonwealth English or druggist, North America and Asian Commonwealth English, are health professionals who practice in the field of pharmacy, health science that focus on safe and effective use of drugs. A pharmacist is a member of the healthcare team who is directly involved with patient care. Pharmacists undergo university-level education to understand biochemical mechanism and drug action, drug use, therapeutic roles, side effects, potential drug interaction, and monitoring parameters. This is made with anatomy, physiology, and pathophysiology. Pharmacists interpret and communicate the specific knowledge to patients, doctors, and other health care providers. The next is postman. A mail carrier, mailman, mailwoman, postal carrier, postman, postwoman, or letter carrier in American English, sometimes colloquially known as a postie in Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, and other parts of the United Kingdom. A post office or postal service, which delivers mail and parcel post to residents and business. The term mail carrier came to be used as a gender-neutral substitute for mailman soon after the woman began performing the job. In the Royal Mail, the official name changed from letter carrier to postman in 1883, and postwoman has also been used for many years. Next, President. The President is a common title for the head of state in most publications in politics. The President title is given to leaders of Republican states. The functions are varying according to the form of government. In parliamentary republics. They are limited to those of the head of state and are thus largely ceremonial. In presidential and semi-presidential republics, the role of the president is more prominent, encompassing also in most cases the function of the head of government. In authoritarian regimes. A dictator or leader of a one-party state may also be called a president. Next, the next is Prime Minister. A Prime Minister of the government and the executive branch of government. In many systems, the Prime Minister selects and other members of the cabinet and posts to members within the government. In most systems, the Prime Minister is the presiding members and chairman of the cabinet. In a minority of systems, notably in a semi-presidential system of government. The Prime Minister is the official who, ha- who has to manage the civil service and execute the directives of the head of state. In the fashion systems are the Westminster system. The Prime Minister was presiding and the actual head of government and head of the executive branch. This system, the head of state or the official state representative, often the monarch, president, or general, usually holds a grand ceremonial position, although often with reserved power. Next, zookeeper. A zookeeper, sometimes as an animal keeper, is a person who manages zoo animals that are kept in captivity for conservation or to be displayed to the public. They are usually responsible for feeding and daily care of the animals. As part of their routine, the zookeeper may be clean the exhibits and report health problems. They may also be involved in scientific research or public education, such as conducting tours and answering questions. Next, fish farmer. Fish farming or pisciculture involves raising commercial fish in tanks such as fish ponds. Usually for food, it is the principal form of aquaculture, while other methods might fall under mariculture, a facility that releases juvenile fish into a fish hatchery worldwide. The most important fish species produced in fish are carp, tilapia, salmon, and catfish. Next, comic artist. A comics artist, also comic book artist, graphic novel artist, or comic book illustrator, is a person working within the comics medium on comic strips, comics books, or graphic novels. The term major work contributes to the work of the comics. Thus, who offers all the aspect of work to those who contribute only a part. Next, blogger. A blog, a translation of the expression weblog, is a discussion or informational website published on the World Wide Web, consisting of discrete, often informal diary-style text and entries. Posts are typically displayed in reverse chronological order, so that the most recent post appears first at the top of the web page. Until 2009, blog where blogs were usually the individual words of a single citation needed. or occasionally of a small group, and often covered a single subject or topic. In the two- 2000, 2010 multi-other blocks MABS have developed with posts written by a large number of other and sometimes professionally edited MABS from newspaper, other media outlets, university think tanks, advocacy groups, and similar institutions accounts for increasing quantity of blog traffic. The rise of Twitter and other microblogging system helps to integrate MABS and others blog into the news media. Blog can also be used as a verb meaning to maintain or add content to a blog. Next, the next is athlete. An athlete, also sportsman or sportswoman, who competes in one or more sports that involve physical strength, speed, or endurance. The application of the terms for those who participate in other activities such as horse riding or driving is somewhat controversial. Athletes may have a professional diet and strict exercise accompanied by a strict dietary regimen. Next, the next is baker. A baker is someone who bakes and sometimes sells breads and other products made using an oven or other concentrate head source. The place where baker works in called a bakery. Bakers are usually bake breads, cakes made of flour, pies, pastry, and other general items. Next. The next is forester. A forester is a person who practices forestry, the science, the art, and the profession of managing forests. Foresters have a wide range of activities, including ecological restoration and management of protected areas. Foresters manage a variety of objectives, including the direct extraction of raw materials, outdoor recreation, conservation, hunting, and aesthetic emerging management. Practice including managing forest land for biodiversity, carbon sequestration, and air quality. Many people confuse the role of the forester with the lodger, but provide the greatest good for the harvest of timber, but also with the best of the harvester, the greatest number in the long term. Citation needed. Another notable forester, J.C. Westoby, remarked that forestry is not concerned with trees, but with how trees can serve people. Next, the next is hotel porter. A bellhop North America or hotel porter international is a hotel porter who helps patrons with their luggage while checking in or out. Bellhops often wear a uniform. See bellboy hat. Like certain other paid boys or doormen, this occupation is also called bellman and bellboy. Okay, maybe just that much presentation from me about the profession and also transportation. Sorry if there is a word wrong. I end up here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.